So today we will be using the point-slope form to write an equation. But before we do that, we should figure out how to derive this point-slope form. The point-slope form I gave to you up here is just y minus y1 equals the slope multiplied by the difference of the two x values. So how did they come up with this? That's what derive means. We need to figure out what did they do to come up with this formula. Well, it all comes from the slope formula. So let's go ahead and rewrite our slope formula. Remember, slope is m, and it equals the change of y, so y minus y1, the two y values being subtracted, from the change of the x values. So it's a fraction, it's a ratio of these two different amounts being subtracted from each other. So what they did from this point is we went ahead and we're solving for y, or at least y minus y1. The way we do that is we multiplied by the denominator, x minus x1. And we did the same thing on the other side, x minus x1. And so when we did that, these x minus x1s canceled out on this side, leaving us with this fraction. And so what we had, or actually canceling out this fraction, so what we had is y minus y1 equals m being multiplied by this difference, x minus x1. And then from there, all they did is just switch these numbers back to the other side. So they just moved this one over, and they moved this one back the other way. And so then they wrote y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's where the formula comes about. And so what we're going to end up doing in this formula is we're going to end up substituting numbers that were given into these parts, the y1, the m, and the x1. And that's it. We're going to leave y and x by itself because that way we'll have a formula to match the problem. So let's take a look at some of the problems that we'll end up seeing. So here's what the directions say. They just say to write an equation in point-slope form. This is important because you'll have another set of directions that will ask you to write it in a different form. So this one is in point-slope form. So the point-slope form is just substituting the numbers into this equation. And so we're given the slope, we're given a point. So I'll go ahead and rewrite my point-slope form, and we'll go ahead and substitute the numbers that were given into the equation. So we're going to take the slope, which in this case is -4, and this number here is going to go in for m. Here is our x value, and that's going to go in for x1. And then here's our y value, and that's going to go in for y1. And then we're going to go ahead and rewrite the problem with those numbers substituted into the equation. So we rewrite the y minus, and then the y value was 5, equals, and then we bring down that -4, multiplied by x minus whatever the x value is in our problem, 1. And that's it. It's as far as you take it. We have completed the problem. That is our answer if we just leave it in the point-slope form. So let's take a look at the next one. It's a little different. Each problem is just a touch different, so that's why we're going over one of each type. But it's pretty much solved the same way. So we're going to use that point-slope form again. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I'm going to take our values that were given. So again, we're given the slope. We're going to put that number in for m. We're given the x value of -3. That goes in for that x1 value right there. And then 4, that is our y value of the point. So that goes in for y1. And then we go ahead and do the substitution. And so when I do that, I've got y minus, and then I rewrite my y value, which is 4, equals the slope, -1/2, times by x minus, and then -3. And so the only thing that you're going to do different here is whenever we have minus negative, we can simplify that a little bit by adding the opposite. And that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to add the opposite and then rewrite the problem after I've done that. And so my answer in the answer box would be y minus 4 equals the negative 1/2 x, and then negative 1/2 times x plus 3. So I just rewrote it with the value in the added form, because that minus negative makes a plus positive. So here's the next one. We could probably do the substitution. Real easy. So again, you're just going to rewrite the problem. So I rewrite y minus, now I'm going to take the y value, this number here is going to go next. So I'm going to take that negative 5 right here, and that goes right in place of the y1 value. And then I can go ahead and take that slope, and that's going to be the next number that I end up writing. So remember, this equals, and then we can go ahead and rewrite the slope value, which is 2, in for m, and then we can go ahead and rewrite our parenthesis. So we've got parenthesis and then x minus, and then we can go ahead and rewrite our y value, which is negative 5. So write down minus, or x value, x value, which is 4. And so we just write x minus 4. And so that's what we've got. So we've got our y minus our y1 value equals our slope, which was 2, times by x minus our x value, which was minus 4. So what is the only thing, or the part that we could do a little bit different here? Well, that's when we can just go ahead and rewrite that minus negative as a plus positive. And that's the only thing that we're going to end up changing. So we can rewrite the answer as y plus 5 equals 2 times by x minus 4. That would be our answer. Well, one more problem here, and that's when we have a slope of 1 this time. So we'll go ahead and rewrite the numbers in here. So again, we'll go ahead and recopy our formula. Y minus y1 equals the slope times by x minus x1. And we're just going to substitute those numbers in there. So we'll start with our slope. This number here is going to go in for m. Negative 2, what number's that? That's our x value. Put that in for x1. And what's this negative 4? It's our y value. That goes in for y1. So we go ahead and do that substitution. Here's what we've got. We've got y minus negative 4 equals 1 times by x minus negative 2. So it's always minus, and then you just bring in that, if it's a negative number, you write that negative value in there. And so anytime you have minus negative, just change that to plus positive, and then rewrite your answer in that form. So we'll go ahead and rewrite that as y plus 4 equals 1 times by x plus 2. And that would be our answer right there. And that's all. So the next part will be when we actually put it in that point slope form and then simplify into slope intercept form.